these are the people who I want to appeal to. Make those little slips. It happens. You have to have a plan. Ability to manage your problems effectively. How are you going to do it? Fall off the horse? Jump right back on.
And welcome back.
welcome back. We're about to jump into Broke It Down with Jenny. Definitely something we look forward to every other week right here on 5 for Fun Fridays. Today, social media and relationship and its impact on mental health. In with us is none other than Jenny Lovel.
Good morning.
All right.
Good morning, Belize.
And of course, Jenny is a professional mental health therapist. And Jenny, we appreciate you coming in and sharing your expertise with us each time. And today we're tackling a very important subject.
Very.
Yes, we are.
Extremely.
So we've touched on this incrementally in other issues, but now we're really taking it on. How social media impacts your relationships and subsequently your mental health, right?
Yes, absolutely.
So where do we start?
Well, I have pictures.
Okay.
Because a picture is worth 1,000 words.
That's
Okay.
right.
And so I have some pictures, and my first slide
Okay.
basically says it's complicated. Because it is. Because it's a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
It's got some really good features, but really and truly, because of the way people have been using it, it has become something that has some really negative effects.
Yeah.
Can I get a little disclaimer in? Because I find anytime you speak negatively about social media, people start to question your own social media presence. Do you use social media?
I have
So
I
you're
do.
not talking from an outsider.
Oh,
you
no.
use it, you see
Yes.
it, you know it,
Yes,
right?
absolutely.
Okay, good.
I have WhatsApp, I LinkedIn, a whole
Yeah.
bunch of stuff.
Facebook.
Okay.
But it's how often I go there.
Okay.
But the point is, it's not that you shunned what the new technology
talk
has
about
brought.
it.
Yeah. Okay. Great.
Right,
So
no.
let's get started.
So I guess first of all, I wanted to talk about the fact that as human beings, we crave social support. We need social support for growth and positive mental health. We need to have each other.
Yeah.
Human beings, eye-to-eye contact, right? The social support. We also need emotional support from our family members, from our friends. And it's very hard to get that through the internet. Think about that for a minute, okay? Real life relationships take time and effort, and they help us to learn about ourselves and others. So those are very, very important. So I'm putting that as my disclaimer.
So these are our priorities
Yes.
as human beings, as
Absolutely.
normal, healthy human beings.
yes.
We want a connection
Yes.
that provides these qualities here.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And this is why people talk about their BFFs. But the BFF is a person that, out
Outside
there.
it could be
Yeah, it's virtual. A best friend used to be someone you hug, you linked hands with and you walk down the
Walk
street
somewhere
and
with
you,
them.
and you used to go on walks, and there was nothing sexual, it was just your best friend.
just your BFF. Yeah.
Right. And that person, you could talk about all your little secrets and things.
Yeah.
And as you grew up, you grew together and you remained friends for years and years and years. I'm so sorry now, but these kids growing up are missing out on that very, very
Yeah.
important segment of life.
Yeah.
Social media is really and truly not actually being there. It's a virtual person out there. And I've said this to you before, and I'm going to repeat it. Went to visit one of our friends. We went in and we said, hey, we're here to take you to lunch.
Yeah.
And she says, hold on, I have to finish something here I'm doing on the internet. I'm talking to my friends on Facebook. I've got 2,500 friends.
What?
Huh? Right? We said, well, we're here, we're flesh and blood.
Yeah.
We've come to take you to lunch. She says, okay. And she turns around and looks at us and she says, meet me on Facebook.
That's what she told
Two of us, we came to take her to lunch.
lunch.
Yeah.
So she wants
And
to
she
get
said-
lunch on
She
Facebook.
said, meet me on Facebook. And for me, that was very telling.
Yeah.
Because here are two real live people who are taking you to lunch to come and connect. And
The science behind this is fascinating, and I think the studies are really at the very nascent stage. It's just beginning. And we're finding out more and more that a lot of people, there's the addiction tendency that comes, the mental satisfaction that comes when somebody likes a photo and how it's addictive. And there's also the aspect that, you're right, some of the younger generations are no longer having real life connections, so they're not missing it because they never had it. Yeah, so relationships and friendships are becoming solely virtual relationships. For us who did have best friends that we hang out with and go out with and talk on the phone, we know the difference between the two. So how do we, and especially when it comes to the kids, ensure that they still have that human connection, those social skills that will be necessary as they move into a work world, as to how to interact with people, not just via email or social media.
The parents, girl.
Yeah.
The parents have to get these kids off this infernal computers and iPads and iPods and tablets, and really just have them limit the amount of time they allow them to be on there, because it is an addiction.
Yeah.
It's just like drugs. You know, with drugs, when you take drugs, the drugs build up the dopamine in your system. But it's not a natural way. The body does that. If you go running or if you exercise, you build up all that, the really good feeling stuff, right? And it feels really great. When there's a drug that's doing it, or something like the internet, it's something artificial, your body stops producing it.
Yeah.
And so you need more and more of this to get that same feeling. But what happens when that crashes? Have you ever seen these folks, how they behave if the current
there's
goes
no
off?
Wi-Fi?
No Wi-Fi. You go to some part of the country where there is no Wi-Fi.
Life anymore.
People are walking around like zombies,
Yeah.
But Jenny, what if we get into the situation, because, and this is definitely reality, whereby parents are not even taking care of the kids. I did mention once that now the babysitters are actually the devices and the internet, but parents now are not talking in the home. So the kids are not seeing that example that they're supposed to get. What do you say to parents that are doing
Why
it?
are you jumping ahead?
Okay.
Oh, we're so ahead of the gun?
We're so involved in this
Yes,
conversation. Let's
it's
go
like-
ahead.
yeah.
So your first point was that nothing can replace actual human interaction.
Human contact.
Yeah.
Okay, hugs, talking, smiles, eye contact. Nothing replaces that. These things don't. This is not a natural thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so look at it.
This happens, by the way.
Yes, it does.
It does happen. I've
Yes,
read
it
many
does.
stories about it.
Right?
Yeah.
People hook up online, they meet online, they also break up online. It's so inhumane. It's so cruel.
Yeah.
Right? Oh,
Yeah.
what, John?
Yeah.
He's trying to read it. Yeah.
Reading
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
You know, did he just break up with
Just break up with
Yeah.
me. And that's the other thing. People will sit there and talk to each other and not communicate. They will talk to each other using the iPhone, using their phones to discuss. Or the children are outside and they'll text each other.
Yeah.
Bring me some water.
Yeah, it's absolutely incredible, and I'm happy we're doing this because we need to have parents hear that how important it is that they intervene and limit how much time children spend on these machines. I mean, seriously, Facebook eats up our time. And not just Facebook, WhatsApp. I watch people on WhatsApp and on Viber and all these things, and they're on there again on Facebook and all these other things, and they're sending pictures. And we'll talk later on about how it's turning us into narcissists.
Wow.
Right? All these selfies and all the things we post that are we want everybody to know what a wonderful life, and we have to present ourselves as being this wonderful person having this amazing life. Right?
So that's another issue I think is also very important, but looking at the amount of time you spend online, there's also what people call FOMO, which is fear of missing out. So if I'm not online seeing what people are doing, then I'm out of the loop. So I must be online browsing all day, as much time as I can get. Otherwise, I'm missing out on something. No, I'm never going to be there, but at least I get to see this is happening in somebody's life.
Exactly. And you ever watch how folks, every time a notification comes in, how people jump and grab the telephone to check that notification, right? And that's the thing. It's become a total addiction.
Yeah.
I think what Marlene mentioned a while ago is what hitting the world as we speak. What? FOMO? If you feel that you're missing out, the first thing you do is to jump on the phone when there's a notification. And when it comes to the WhatsApp, for a lot of folks, we use it more as a text. But when it comes to Facebook, you actually get the actual pictures. So you see what they're going through. So a lot of folks will gravitate to that.
And I'm the first to know.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And what has happened now, people, instead of helping someone who might be in trouble, they have their phone and they're actually making a video of this person's
exactly what's going on.
Trauma.
I think for me, there are several aspects. You know, I love using social media. I think there are pros and cons about it. I have my own personal limitations I put in place for me. And I think everybody is allowed to use it the way they like if they know how it affects them. But I think one of the things we can clearly see is that there is a disconnect now. It exists. You know, it's the very same situation. Something is happening in front of you, and your natural instinct is no longer to assist.
Help, right.
Your natural instinct is to share, which, you know, it is always there. You always want to tell people about your day or stories or something awesome that you saw. But when it hinders that what I believe to be a human instinct to help another human being, that's very concerning.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is.
Yes. I've watched when you go out and you see people with their phones, instead of helping people to try to save things out of their house from a fire, everybody's standing there with their phones taking a picture of it. And I'm thinking, my gosh, what happened to empathy?
Yeah.
We have lost empathy. It's gone. And it's not just here. It's this phenomenon.
Yeah.
You see?
How was your day?
How was your day? And how was yours? We no longer are speaking to each other. We're talking through the machines. Yes. Right? Also, once things are circulated, I want people to remember, once you put something on the internet,
it never disappears.
Forever. And even if you shut down, you shut down your Facebook account, guess what? People can still tag you, and if you go back 5 years later and you open it, all the stuff is right there. Okay?
That's part of the difficult lesson I think some people learn as well. It's just what is your own limit as to what you will share online. And I've said before, I've done presentations with children talking about how curated your life is online. In other words, I pick and choose what I want you to see. I'm not showing you my life. I'm showing you the version of my life I want you to believe. And sometimes that I try to believe for myself. And in being able to get more attention and more likes, you know, we see especially our young people venturing into risky behaviors that they will regret for the rest of their lives.
The thing is, this hinges now on workplace, getting hired later on, because a lot of employers will go look at Facebook to see what you have had, and they will judge you based on what you have put out there on Facebook.
And while it's not legal, that's one of the things. I remember we had this conversation a long time ago about maintaining your online profile in a way that will help you get jobs. So if my profile picture is me smoking marijuana or talking about F my workplace, I hate these people, I hate my boss, and yes, you are not necessarily, it is not the case that you should be judged or discriminated against because of that public profile. But if somebody in HR just decides, let me see what this person represents online, they can't unsee it.
Exactly. And see, I don't think people are talking about this. It's so important that we talk about this. A lot of these kids are sexting, or they are putting their nudes for their boyfriend, and they forget quarrel day. Because that they come. Quarrel day will always come.
I love what Marlene
Right.
mentioned as well because, like you mentioned, you put out there a certain aspect of my life, not my life. But one of the things we tend to do is to get comfortable in being on social media. Then our personality comes out on social media. Thus, people judging you. Like for instance, in the workplace, you want a job. HR would check out your profile. You're so into it, then your personality comes out. Would I want to hire that person?
And I'll tell you something else. One of the things I think people don't think about, what I have on there, you're my friend, but your friends and your friends' friends can see what's on my page.
Yeah. Yeah. Or a screenshot. It doesn't matter. You can have all the privacy controls you want. And one friend screenshots it, it can go anywhere. That's with WhatsApp. That's with any email. Anybody can send anything anywhere. And it's not just the negative part. Like, the really pessimistic people who are complaining about everything. It's even the people who feign, or fake, I should say, being concerned about others. And then you meet them in person, or around the conversation, you realize they're very hateful. So here I was thinking you were the supportive of all these empowerment things because you post all these Jesus quotes and all these empowerment quotes, and then I meet you and
Wow.
where is that? So where is that Facebook profile? Where do I find the real person behind that? It's amazing.
So into the conversation.
I'm floored. I really am floored.
Yeah.
And in doing this research here for this, I'm looking at that. My gosh, there's so much that we don't talk about, and that we don't warn these children about, and adults really. And I hope people are listening and paying attention, because I'm telling you, once it's there,
That's it.
it's available to all kinds of people. You leave your job, please, for heaven's sake. These folks that talk all these things like you were saying about their bosses. Are you crazy? I mean, seriously, you think your boss isn't going to hear or see that stuff on there? Or as if somebody tells your boss that there's information being spread about her on the internet, that somebody won't screenshot that and bring that to her?
Yeah.
I mean, honestly.
It's actually reality.
Yeah.
All right.
I tell my nephews, and of course they're a different generation. They think I'm crazy. So I said, if you wouldn't stand in front of your entire school and say something that you post online, then don't post it. Because that's what you're doing, and that's just school. But even beyond that, and if you ask people to recite what they post online in front of a public audience, they probably wouldn't, or share stuff about themselves that they wouldn't do in front of a wider audience, they wouldn't. And it's the same thing.
I'm glad you said that. I wanted to point out something and I almost forgot. If somebody, like an underage child, posts a nudity of themselves, and it's between children, but now it's starting to get passed around, that becomes pornography.
Yeah.
It is.
According to the law, that becomes pornography to people. So when you forward that naked picture of that child or anybody,
Any person.
anybody, but particularly like children, you have crossed now into the law. You are not breaking the law. That's pornography. And now you're also involving a child. Think twice before you hit that share when it comes to naked pictures of anybody.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously. Okay. And this one, here we are, and nobody's talking
Nobody's
to me.
interacting.
They're interacting, but they're interacting
Online,
through a machine.
Yeah.
I'm gonna like your photo right now. Let me get online.
That's the same thing as going
Same thing.
Dinner meals.
Everywhere in the family. And this is the distracted driving, distracted flying. The pilot is actually on social media while flying the plane. Yes, I know you have an autopilot. Hello, but
We just feel more comfortable if we know you're dedicated to what's happening in front of you. Yeah.
Okay.
cyberbullying. This is a big one. Okay, social media, there are no filters, and people feel like they can just say anything. And the worst thing about it is once upon a time the bully would meet you in the school ground and
Try
really
to hit you or
hit
tell
you
something.
or hurt your
Yeah.
feelings in the playground, but you've got to go home. Now with this, they can
It
bully
goes
you
home.
24/7. And we've had suicides as a result of the torture, because it's torture. They harass they bully these kids, and it's not just one, it's the whole clique
Yeah.
that will harass a child or harass an individual 24/7. And then you see, because of this thing that they have to be on social media, they have to hear what's going on, they continue to go and look at it. Right. I know we're running out
No,
of
no,
time.
no. This is interesting, and it even happens with adults too.
Yeah, I know.
And it's so cowardly. There's so many people who create fake profiles just to be mean to others,
Yeah.
and in a malicious way. How do you advise parents? I mean, you can only. I can imagine parents at home saying, "Listen, I can't not make them go online. I'll go to sleep. The computer's there, the tablet's there. Even if I take them away, they'll use somebody else's." What can I do to help to build their self-esteem so that when they do see somebody being mean, that they have a particular plan in place?
You see, again, it comes right back to what we've always spoken about. The importance of parents to have a relationship with their children from very early, so your child will come and tell you anything. Always, you'll be the first person they come to. But if you're the parent, you tell the child it's okay to speak with me, and then when the child tells you something, you blow up, you fly off the handle, you do not listen to that child, or you want to punish the child by taking away their iPad or whatever. Your child has to be able to trust you, right? You start building that.
Yeah.
When this child comes in, and that's the other thing, you have to be monitoring your child's moods, monitoring your child's behavior. You should be the first person to see if there are changes in that child's behavior.
Yeah.
Right? You see something, and I'll have parents will say, I noticed my daughter's grades are dropping, and I noticed that her moods have been changing. Ding, 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 that should really be an indicator for you that you need to go and sit with your child to find out what's going on, because it could be something like this.
But Jenny, would you say that we're coming to the end of the road when it comes to kids having kids? And we're in this situation?
Lord.
I'm listening to you talk, and while I listen to you talk and giving your opinion, I'm saying to myself, but man, we've got a lot of work to do, because young ones are having young ones.
Yeah. And they're babies, they don't know anything themselves. How are they going to, what are they going to pass on?
Yeah.
What are they going to pass on? I am an advocate, and I heard somebody say this the other day, and I fully agree. When you go into the clinic and you are a teenager and you're pregnant, you need to put them through some parenting classes.
Yeah.
You need to. Right away you start. And you make sure that when they're sitting there and they're a captive audience, you have all kinds of things, movies or classes running on that television in there. Give them information.
Let's go back to social media because we're running out of time. Because parenting is going to keep us here another hour.
Yeah. So, this is a joke. It appears you suffer from insecurity, loneliness, and low self-esteem. I suggest you post daily selfie pictures for strangers online until you feel better. That speaks for itself.
We're going to leave that there. All right, moving to the narcissism that results.
This is very important, because this selfie culture. Do you know I'm firmly believing now that you can actually create a narcissist.
Yeah.
I really believe that. And so, narcissism, the narcissistic personality disorder, involves a preoccupation with self and how one is perceived by others. Right? Think about that for a minute, John. Think about that for a minute.
Thinking?
Narcissists pursue gratification from vanity and the admiration of their own physical and intellectual attributes.
Okay, I'll say something that people won't like, but if we remove narcissism and the disorder and probably move from preoccupation with self and how one is perceived by others, that's the definition of your purpose of social media for many.
Yep. Exactly.
I will post what I need to post to get more people to like what they see.
Yeah, to like me. this is a wonderful place for people who are loners. It's a great place for people who have no friends and don't know how to make friends, don't know how to interact. And instead of people helping them to interact with human beings, they come here and they present this wonderful picture. And they send out all these wonderful pictures of themselves. And this is it. We are living this fantasy that is really, it's a nightmare. Really and truly.
So what do we need to do? You know, we
Well,
get caught up in this. And,
no, but seriously,
Yeah.
it starts with parents.
Yeah.
It starts back in the home. Parents absolutely have to limit the amount of time they allow their kids to be on these machines, on these devices. They have to monitor what their kids are looking at. There have to be some sort of filters.
Yeah.
And they have to talk, the same things we were talking about, talk with your children. And then you have to be the model. You cannot sit there in the home and be
Being
on the
phone
machine
at the same
or
time.
sending text, sending these messages to your child on social media to do something right there in the home or having conversations. I have a slide here about the positive effects of social media. And the thing is, I was in the military. I was in the US Navy. I have my friends. I've been able to connect with a lot of my friends all over the world. That's the beauty of having Facebook.
Yeah.
It allows you to connect with people that you don't get to see that are far away. That for me, that's what's important, right? And for folks, I think that was initially what it was meant to do.
What it was meant to be, yeah.
Right? Helps in conversation around the world. Data information can be exchanged easily. So you can send so much stuff over Facebook and these other sites, right? We'll go back to what the initial purpose was and use it for enjoyment. But now the people out there who have mental disorders, who are mean, no, I'm serious. There are those people out there. You have to shield your child from that kind of person. And in school, in the classroom or in the school ground, the bullies. Your child is being bullied. You need to know if your child is being bullied and know what to do. And help that child and protect your child.
You know, and part of the challenge is that even the guidelines for some of these sites, you can't get this stuff down. It's very hard. You have to blatantly break some of the guidelines that are set there, and that's part of the frustration that people feel. But I don't want to leave the impression that we're all anti-social media. You know, you can't be.
Oh no, that's why I put the positives for the end.
And there are some people who learn to balance it. You know, they learn to use it for what they need to, and then let it go, and perhaps don't get too caught up in the hunt for likes or the obsession with likes.
Well, the thing is, I think one of the important things, for addiction. If you cannot do without, if with somebody who uses drugs, if you can't stop using the drug, that's an indicator that you're possibly addicted. If you stop and you have to go back, you can't stay away. There's a compulsion to have the drug. Then just that's an indicator. If you start having withdrawals, people literally have withdrawals if they can't get on the social media, that's a serious indicator of addiction. So,
or if you start engaging in risky behavior.
Exactly. Exactly.
So showing more and more, or getting more and more risque or dangerous.
Right. Getting yourself involved in all kinds of things. To be there, to have this social media. Those are the things you need to be careful of, and you need to get very serious about getting your child help, because now it's an addiction.
Yeah, it is.
Right? And you're not going to be able to get them off cold turkey. They'll go borrow their friends' phones, they'll do whatever.
Try and get
so
on
it's really talking to your children now and learning how to do this in moderation.
Well,
everything in moderation.
I think for parents, one of the best way to try and get them to help their child is, one, the maturity they build up, and two, conversations like these would eventually make it even better. Because, like we mentioned, babies having babies. The internet is out there, it's easily accessible. We've got all the G's coming up, things are coming up fast, much more faster. Conversations like these would eventually have parents to wise up and try to help their kids.
And have your conversations without
Yeah.
and
Being
you
on
have
the-
gadgets.
And I was on the phone, so I just wanted to say something. I was just as bad. But no, there's a study that actually just came out last week, Friday. It was done in the UK, and I found it so fascinating. And it was, it talked about the effects of social media on young people's mental health. And, you know, our conversation is geared towards parents helping children. And 4 of the 5 most popular forms of social media harm people's mental health. I think this study was about 15, it was a survey of 1,500 young people between 14 to 24. And it deepened feelings of inadequacy and anxiety. And the number 1 in terms of social media that harmed the mental health of children was, I believe, Instagram, followed by Facebook, then Twitter. I might have my order out of place, but it's what we are using in this country. It's what we see our children using. So, like I said, this technology is so new. Science is just catching up.
Just catching up.
But I mean, this study literally was published on May 19th. It
Well,
was
if you think
very
about
recent.
we can get into it, but
Yeah.
I mean, what it's doing to the brain.
Yeah.
It's the fundamental changes that are happening to the brain in using the technology. And there are lots of studies out there about the fundamental changes to the brain. But that's a whole other topic. Yeah.
It is.
All right, and like you said, it's not that there aren't positive effects, but just try to get some balance out of it as
Balance,
well. Yeah.
moderation,
Oh,
moderation.
Definitely. Excellent conversation, that much I could tell you. But it's a fun Friday. Check this out, Mar. It's a fun Friday, and I'll give you three things. If you're on the computer and you see a picture, it's a camera, it signifies.
Eh?
It signifies. You're on the
have no
computer
idea
and
what
you see
you're getting at.
if you see a camera, it signifies Instagram. Now, if
Oh.
you see a little bird, then it's.
Twitter,
And if you see the F,
Facebook.
you're the champ. That's the way it is. It's a fun Friday.
There you go. I was stuck too, Jenny. You win. All right. So, Jenny, thank you once again. You know, I know probably a lot of people didn't like hearing some of the things that were brought up.
But it's the reality.
I've said it before in this week. We got to look ourselves in the mirror. We got to find our flaws, and that's the only way we can be able to do something about it. So, we hope that we've been able to help some parents with some advice as to how to monitor your children online.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. We're gonna go ahead.
Monitor yourselves online.
Okay. All right, and with that, we're going to go ahead and take a break. And when we come back, we're going to be talking to Precision and Style Dance Group about their upcoming showcase. So stay tuned.
Have a plan to manage your problems effectively.
How are you gonna do it? Fall off the horse? Jump right back on.